Note to self, this video was from another YouTuber who I happen to so agree with, especially when it comes to some reviewers for certain movie reviews, and they just don't have a clue what they're talking about. They can't see any facts that a certain film factually sucks and not just opinions. Anyway, enjoy this video.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens has finally arrived! Yes! Finally! But is it good? Force Awakens is directed by J.J. Abrams and stars Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver. Tons of great new people mixed with the old original cast that we grew up loving. Now this is going to be a completely spoiler-free review. I will eventually do a spoiler-filled review, but for anyone who has never watched a video of mine before, know that I hate ruining things for anyone. I cherish the idea of going to a film with a sense of discovery. As we already know from the trailers, we meet a character named Rey, played by Daisy Ridley. She's a scavenger on the desert planet of Jakku. She eventually runs into John Boyega, or Finn, a stormtrooper that was part of the First Order, which is the new division that has replaced the old Empire. He decides to leave the First Order because something inside doesn't sit right with him anymore, and he runs into Rey on Jakku, and they start an adventure together that eventually leads them to Han Solo. And while all this is happening, there's a new villain on the rise who has taken great inspiration from Darth Vader, and his name is Kylo Ren. The last time a movie was this hyped was probably The Phantom Menace back in 1999. Now, I grew up loving the original trilogy. If you've watched my channel this year, you've seen me review every single episode leading up to this, all the way from Phantom Menace to Return of the Jedi. I've had my thoughts about each one, but I've really only loved two of them, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Well, now it's three. The Force Awakens.
What the hell did you just say?
Now look, I'm not fanboying here. I was watching this movie like a hawk for flaws. And there are a couple, and I'll talk about them a little bit more in detail in my spoiler review coming up very soon. The Force Awakens is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen. It's not just a great Star Wars movie, it's actually a great film. The thing that I love about Force Awakens, amongst other things that we'll discuss, is the fact that it actually is a movie with filmmaking and acting and scenes and characters.
No shit.
Things we haven't seen in a Star Wars movie in a really long time. Action sequences that feel real and grounded, because this production did have a preference for actual practical creatures and real designs, things that actually occur right in front of you that aren't green screen trickery. Yes, there's CGI in the movie, of course, but it's not the focus. Another thing I loved about this movie is that it actually has humor. It's very funny. It's not stale and boring and dry. And the humor actually works, and some of it is even well incorporated with the villain characters. John Boyega as Finn is so energetic. He has so much charisma. You can just feel it seeping off of him. He's so excited to be in this movie, and it shows in his character. He gave an excellent performance, and I really did care about the character of Finn because they set him up very well as a person who just doesn't feel right in his position. You understand why he doesn't feel right. Something about what he witnesses just affects him, and you can feel it even when he's wearing a stormtrooper helmet. And as I said, the adventure that begins with him and Rey is extremely exciting, not just because of how well directed it is and how much fun it is and hearing John Williams' brilliant cues again, it's also because you really do care about him as a character, and you also really care about Rey.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No. No.
Played by Daisy Ridley, who in my opinion steals the entire film. She is brilliant in this movie. She is an excellent discovery, and there is a sense of discovery. Going to a movie, seeing someone who's basically unknown, portraying this character, and you now see her as this person because you don't identify her with something else she's done in the past. Her performance is so real. She's so real in this movie, you never feel like she's acting.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a fucking idiot.
Her character is so well realized, and by far she's the heart and soul of this movie, and she's terrific in the action sequences as well, as is John Boyega. The friendship that blossoms between her and some of the original cast is also tons of fun, and it's the kind of movie where you don't get much breathe room. And that can be a bad thing in other movies, where you're like, wait, let's breathe a little bit and let's sink in here. And there are scenes like that. But with this movie and with the original trilogy, most of the time, they're always moving, and the plot's always progressing, and the plot progresses through our characters encountering more action.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.